All right, let's go ahead and get started then. I think
Oh, there
Yes.
just about everyone has joined now, and let's go ahead and start our Tech Club meeting. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. Looks like we have about 22 people now online.
Okay, good.
Sean May's going to teach today. I sure appreciate that. But before we get started, I wanted to have a couple items of business. We realize now that I will not be continuing as president. Roger will not be continuing as vice president, and Sharon Chaffel will not be continuing as secretary. So Jenny's going to stay on as a treasurer, and she knows probably more than I do about the needs and the mechanics of the club. But we really need to get the word out that we need some new officers next year so that we can continue the club. It's getting pretty desperate. We sure don't want to turn the computer lab and the club back over to the HOA, but we need to find 3 officers for next year if we're going to continue.
That's something to look at.
I want the view.
Okay, so let's give
I'm ready.
Sean, when he's ready, are you ready, Sean? All right, I will turn it over to Sean then. Thank you so much, Sean May, for teaching today.
Sean's doing it.
And it's over to him.
I hope, can you hear me okay? Is the volume okay?
Al?
Am I loud enough? Okay. By the way, we're here today because of the recent past Tech Club presidents being kind enough to serve as president over the past 2 years. We've been here for a little over 4 years, so I wanted to thank our recent past Tech Club presidents for volunteering and to all their staff as well. So thank you goes out to Anita Howard, Tom Howland, Rick Bailey. Rick and Shirley Bailey actually were president treasurer for 3 years of our Tech Club. And thanks again to Tim Walter for being president this year. We're very grateful because that's how we are here today. Thanks to all of you and your wonderful volunteers that have helped over the past few years. If some people you hear shy away from technology, it's for justifiable reason. It's because of the fact that technology can be, and very often is, very complicated. It's because of the fact that technology very often, physicists will come up with ideas. They'll say, I have this idea for this particular event or this particular hardware, and then it's up to the engineers to actually make that idea work so we can see it and we can use those products. The challenge that I have today is to be able to speak on the topics we're going to talk about, which are mostly the free apps and the paid apps, and also the VPNs, and to speak in English so that we can all understand it. So we'll all get to be the judge of how we do on that today. What we have today, though, is different from cord cutting. Cord cutting is a little bit different than what we're going to talk about today, which is streaming. But cord cutting in the past has had these kind of headlines. This one here is from Consumer Reports from a couple years ago. And it kind of shows you the attitude that a lot of people in the media and a lot of people have in terms of cord cutting. They really are anti-cable, which is understandable because of many hidden fees and so on. What I'm going to do this morning is that if one were to go to a number of computer or internet websites that talk about technology, what we'll find is that they often differ with one another. So my job today is to take a lot of those differing ideas and crunch them together to kind of hit that median. So I'm speaking not from my point of view, which kind of really doesn't matter too much, but I'm speaking from the point of view of the median, kind of the middle ground for a lot of this. And I think that'll make it just a little bit easier. So this morning, there's no pressure. Whether you have cable, let's say you're with Comcast if you're here, or maybe you're consumer cellular, perhaps you have Dish, or perhaps you have DirecTV, or maybe you just have broadcast TV, or you've been a cord cutter for years. No matter what you are in the past, you're welcome today, because all we're going to be talking about is a lot of the streaming in terms of what's out there, and at the very end, VPNs. So the best place to start might be to define what streaming is. And streaming is basically anything that we do through the internet, and it's happening right now in real time. In other words, it's live, it's going on right now. And we contrast that with downloading. Now, when one downloads, what they're basically doing is, and what you're doing is you're downloading a chunk of information at one particular time frame. After that chunk is done, you'll see here that what we have is you'll be watching after you do that chunk, and that chunk is downloaded onto, let's say, your computer or your cell phone or your laptop or whatever it might be. So today we're going to be spending most of our time on the streaming aspect of it. By the way, I'm using cards rather than doing anything else like PowerPoint, because if I do PowerPoint and we list like 4 or 5 topics, many of us will be looking ahead saying, I know what those 2 items are, what's number 4? And what will happen is I'll be talking about something now, and you'll be kind of reading ahead. So I thought I would do it in this order, so that this way we all move along at the same time together. 2 other terms, one of which we'll hear quite a bit, is we will hear about over the top. That's OTT. And basically what over the top is, it basically means we're doing it through the internet, through the use of our, let's say, our router, but we're not doing anything through a cable box or anything else that Dish or DirecTV through satellite setup. It has nothing to do with anything that we're picking up with an antenna over the air. But the term that we're really going to be hearing the most about this morning is the phrase on demand. Now, what's on demand? Well, on demand could be a little confusing because it makes it sound like, what am I demanding? But the truth is, it's just basically any information that's been pre-recorded in the past, and it's basically in little tiles or little boxes that you will see, and it's kind of in a library form, because what we'll be looking at it from the television set is we look at some other things out front here in a few moments. Is going to be a lot of on-demand or pre-recorded. It's not live, and pre-recorded is wonderful because of the fact we get a chance to see something whenever we want to watch it. We can watch it at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., or at 6 o'clock in the evening. We're not confined to what is showing, let's say, on cable or a cable TV alternative online. Now, what we're going to be doing is today, we're going to be putting our attention primarily on Roku and Amazon Fire. As you can see, Roku has nearly half of our market in terms of streaming devices, smart TVs, and the like. Amazon Fire has over a quarter of the market. But the key number here is between Roku and Amazon Fire, they have over 3/4 of the market. We have a lot of people, and we're one of them, who say, well, wait a minute, what about Apple TV? That's popular. Well, as you can see, Apple TV only has 8% of the market. Google TV, which is out now with a Google TV Chromecast, very small percentage of the market, it's 6%. The reason too for Apple TV being as low as 8% is the fact that over 3 years ago, in 2017, that was their last Apple TV device that came out. It came out September of 2017, so it's now over 3 years old. Google TV Chrome just came out with a new device last month in October, but it's new and it's a white colored device. We'll tell you just a tad bit more about that in a moment. We're going to deviate for just one quick moment because there's a good point to this little story. A number of years ago in the mid 60s, Paul McCartney of the Beatles, he had the idea that he wanted to do a kid's song, but he didn't know quite how to do it. But he knew he needed to do two things with the kid's song. He needed to have simple lyrics, and he needed to have a very simple melody. 2 years previously, Paul McCartney worked with a singer in England, or actually from Scotland, but he was doing his recording in England by the name of Donovan. And Paul McCartney sang background for Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow quite rightly. That's part of the lyrics of the song. And Paul was doing a lot of the background cheers and whoops of the song. So when he got stuck, coincidentally, on something to do with a yellow submarine in the ocean, and he had no lyrics. All he had was, "We live on a yellow submarine," and he was totally stuck. So he picked up the phone and he called Donovan. And he said, "I got this yellow submarine in the ocean, and I have no other lyrics. I've been working on this for months. I can come up with nothing. Can you help?" Donovan said, "Well, let me think for a moment." He says, "Okay, how about these lyrics? Sky of blue and sea of green in our yellow submarine." And Paul said, "Terrific. That's exactly what I needed to get started." If you look at the writers of the song, Yellow Submarine, you will notice it says Lennon and McCartney. But the key line was actually composed by Donovan. Gets no credit, which is okay. So why do we mention this morning? Well, we mention this morning because the real point here is the people at the top of their game, like Paul McCartney, when they get stuck, they call other people. And I was listening last month with Anita and Binky and other folks that say we contact each other on a regular basis. And I am here to support you to continue to do that. When you get stuck or when you have questions, call one another and say, hey, or email or text and say, "I'm stuck." Because what we learned from this Paul McCartney example that's never publicized is the fact that other people get stuck, they take advantage of the people resources that are around themselves. Now, when we're talking about Roku, back to that again, it's what is Roku? It sounds like a gibberish word, but it's really not. It means something. In Japanese, it means the number 6. The inventor of the Roku, this is his 6th device that he invented. So in Japanese, the word for 6 is Roku. And that's what Roku means. I thought it would be helpful for you to at least see in terms of what Roku is. Now I'm going to show you, for example, here's an example of a Roku box. This is an older one, but it gives you an example of what it looks like when you, if you ever happen to see one on the shelf. And number 2 is, here's an example of a box. This is an older Roku box that's a few years old, but it still gives you an idea what a box looks like. So if ever we say anything this morning about, getting a box, there's the power cord and so forth, this is what a box looks like. Okay? Now, the Fire TV, most of their devices are in a stick form. And this right here is an example of the best Fire TV Stick 4K that you can buy. This particular device is now from 2019. It still is the recommended device. I'll give you some prices and an idea, if you're interested, how to get a good price on this. A stick, in fact, looks like this. This right here is a stick. And it does look like a stick form. And this side right here was in the side of the television, as you may know. People like buying sticks because of the fact you can take them with you to a hotel room, or grandkids' house, wherever you might go, your kid's house, you can take it in and show them things that you've saved. So the stick is actually more portable than the boxes. Just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, make certain we all start on the same page. Now, in terms of the Roku stick, this is the one that is most recommended. Up here, we have I'll use my finger here. Up here, we have the list price of this particular Roku streaming stick that came out last year in 2019. The price down here is the price that you would be very wise if you wanted to buy it at, because you're going to save here. This would be more the sale price, anywhere from $24.99 to $29.99. Whatever you do, try to avoid buying it at full price. Buy it if you're interested in buying one. And this is the product that is most often recommended, the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. You can buy it for a little under $30 plus tax. Number two is Amazon Fire, and you just saw what it was, the same price. Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K, the list price $49. You can buy it for $29.99. This is the 2019 model that I'm referring to here. It's called the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Save some money. The reason why I'm mentioning it this time, because of the fact that we're at Black Friday time period. The Black Friday Cyber Monday time period, of which we are now in. It has started officially on Monday of this week, and it will go through the 30th of November on Monday, is the fact that you can buy these on sale. It's the best time of the year if you're interested in buying many electronics things, televisions, computers, laptops, iPhones, phones, cell phones, watches, Fitbits, all those things, is Black Friday. Number one time of the year. What is the number two time? Just FYI, a little off the subject, it's Amazon Prime. Typically that occurs in mid-July. This year it moved to the fall because of our health conditions that are going around. And the third best time to buy some kind of a technology or technological instrument or device is before the Super Bowl. Those are the three best times. But we're in time number one right now, and many of these deals are available now or will be available just to make certain that you get the best price. Now, how many streaming devices are there? And how many streaming services are there? Well, we'll talk about the services. There are over 300 streaming services. There's a lot of them out there. What we're going to look at is some of the most popular today, and especially either free ones or ones that are paid, but within the paid service, there's loads of free content. I prefer free over paid, but again, that may be up to you. And one other thing, Roku has both public and private channels. Roku looks at themselves as not having apps. Amazon, Apple TV, Chromecast, they call all their tiles apps. Roku calls their tiles channels. Are they the same? Exactly. It's purely semantic. Roku has channels, Apple TV, and those, and Amazon Fire and Fire Cube and so on, and smart TVs, they call theirs apps. So, time for me to go to the other room and show you a little bit about some of those good apps. And I'm just going to walk in the other room now. Anybody have any questions?
There we go. And so a lot of times we go in and watch a lot of nature videos and all sorts of very cool things that you can do on YouTube. It's tons of old movies, loads of old movies for free, and game shows, everything else. You get kind of an idea of some of the things we've put in recently. The point that I'm making here is that it's very important. It's very important to, when you're looking for things, to consider YouTube. Now we're going to go to number 2, which is Pluto TV. Pluto TV is one of the best things on the free apps. I hope you can see, but right now we're in the kids section, and you can see all the various kids type channels. In Pluto TV, there are over 240 channels, and they are all free.
Nice.
Right now, I happen to be in those. You can also see now we're in some of the news channels here from around the country. CNN is not live CNN. It's kind of what they use the word curated. Curated means that they've taken some of the news clips throughout the day and then they've redone them and put them in short little segments. But you can watch old TV shows, which is what we're at right now. Classic TV comedy. Buzzer is a game show TV sub-channel, which we do not have here in the Tucson area. There's certain history things, TV land, and all sorts of things. I'm just going to let you kind of take a look at it. A lot of people on the internet, a lot of the customers on the internet, they really like the 007, the James Bond channel, that they run a lot of James Bond movies all day long, 24/7, various comedy, all sorts of things. We have some neighbors here that like a lot of jury crime and so on like that. People like horror. They have documentaries. They go back and show television shows from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. They have movie channels. They have classic movies, cult movies. They have drama. You get an idea of some of the ones that are on here. Suspense. They have a Star Trek channel too on Pluto 150 that runs 24/7. Many people like things like Mr. Bean, Are You Being Served, and other PBS shows that have shown their British TV. And of course, other game shows are on here and they run 24/7. It's important to remember Pluto TV with over 240, actually they're probably close to 250 different channels. And I can scroll more, but you get an idea. You can spend, people actually live with Pluto TV, cord cutters. And there's all special things even devoted to Christmas. And it's on all day long. So Pluto TV is one of the big ones. It's one of the ones to consider in terms of one of the absolutely terrific free apps. Because we're on Roku, the Roku channel right here will add different free television shows and movies. And again, here is their live TV through the Roku channel, which is available, of course, through the Roku hardware and the Roku devices. You can see all the different things that are available. All of these streaming, which means they're live right now. It doesn't mean that you're watching a live TV program, but it means it's streaming live. The reason why I'm not clicking on anything right now is because most of us, when we show anything on the internet through YouTube, there's such a thing as copyright. And they get real picky, even if you show 30 seconds of something. But I think you can see that there's just tons of channels that the Roku channel has. Also, Roku has a number of things like 41 new different shows and things they added this month. They have a lot of recommended features. They have loads of different topics too. These are basically on demand. For example, if anybody's ever watched the I Survived series from 2008 to 2014, they have all 8 seasons. If you're into a lot of the older ones, Dennis the Menace from the late 50s, they have 4 seasons. You can go in here and watch whatever you wish to watch, and all sorts of different things and all different kind of topics. People like reality. They have 40 different reality type shows in which they have with many different aspects to it. So it's really fun to be able to do it. And Roku is really one of the best ones to check out. Stir is also similar, STIRR. It's also similar. It's a free channel. They have their channel guide too, and you'll notice that there'll be some overlap. But the good part of this is that, again, the information and what they have, like the NASA channel, they're now showing Bonanza on TV Mix and all sorts of different things. Again, Buzzer TV, Dove TV, all different things. They have the Britcom, which is a little bit different than the other British one they have, where they're showing the Drew Carey, Whose Line Is It Anyway, at this particular point in time. Comet is another sub-channel in which they have up top is just some ad in which they're running. Wise Guy is from the Lucy Show and the Lone Ranger and Sherlock Holmes and the Bob Ross channel and so on. So it's always worth checking out a thing like this one here, because of the fact that they have so many, Stir has so many different on-demand and TV channels. Zumo is another one. And it too is worth checking out because there's again, they have their different channels as well. And you can see they have an exotic animal channel. They have kids channels for the toddlers or whatever. They have a lot of things if you enjoy those places where they go to various restaurants in the city. They have food, they have travel, they have all sorts of things, and you can scroll these by the hour. You can click on some comedy, you name it. They're all, and they're free. And it's important to point out they also have very many things here that are on demand. Let's take a look, for example, very quickly of some of the free movies they have. A lot of them, they range pretty much from maybe from the 70s all the way through maybe the mid 2015, 2016, and some of them, but they just have them by the scroll. All different kinds. If you like mystery, which is more what I like, you probably could see Charlie Chan picture in the background in there, Western, suspense, documentary, no matter what the topic is, they pretty much have a wide range on Zumo. And they have various sports aspects too, where they give sports highlights from the various games and so on. The Tubi is another one, and it has, again, loads of free for you. I'm pointing this one out too because it's one of the most popular ones on the internet. As you can see, again, recommended. They have, in this particular line here under recommended, they have over 200 various movies, TV shows, and other type things for you to be able to watch. This is an interesting section here too, by the way, because a number of you may have Netflix. You will notice here that everything they have here, and there's over 200 of them, they guarantee that they're not on Netflix. So if you're looking for various shows and you say, gee, Netflix doesn't have it, where might I find it? A lot of people will find it on Tubi. Won't spend too long on it, but I just at least like to show its existence. Now, Peacock is a paid service. However, it's an NBC one. It just started recently, earlier this year in 2020. What is interesting about Peacock is that you can sign up for free and you can watch loads of their movies that are on Peacock that other people will pay for. You can watch all of these movies for free because they have a free movie section, and you can see what is here will probably not be on Tubi, will probably not be on Stir, will not be on the other ones, but they have loads of different things on Peacock that are basically NBC type generated things, and they're not on the other ones. If you like Alfred Hitchcock, they have a lot of the Hitchcock movies, many of which maybe you've missed one and would like to catch up on one. Documentaries are very popular as well. What is important here is you can set up a free viewership here for yourself and pay nothing for it. And you will have loads of television shows, loads of movies for free that you can watch. It costs absolutely nothing. You can do their paid service for like $5, $6 a month for various levels and so forth. When these are free, they are free because of the fact that they will show ads. You might see about per hour, you might see about 3 minutes of ads per hour. But to be able to get these for free, it's really a good deal. And also
Question,
in sports, news, whatever. Yes. Hi, Jenny.
a question. How do you access these free? How do you begin? How do you?
Good question. Good question. The way you begin is, you see how I've set it up. If you have a Roku stick or a Roku box, the same way with Amazon Fire. If you have one of their boxes, what you do is you can go in here to the search, and then, for example, I said Peacock. So then you would come down here, see how it has Plex? I'll put in P for it to start. And then notice what's on top, Peacock TV. If you want Pluto TV, see it with number 2, right down over here, right down over here. And what you do is you just add it to the Roku device. And then go in and click enter, Ginny, and then that way it comes up for you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, it's all free. But what's more important today is that one of the things that I was going to mention, and I did leave it out, but one of the things I was going to mention is we've been helping folks up until the virus here in our community, and then through word of mouth. There's some other seniors, but up in Dove Mountain, and we were helping them in terms of setting it up. What I'm doing today is I'm not spending any time, folks, on setting any of these up. I'm just saying, once you have the device and you do the search, these are good channels, because it's Roku, to consider. And I'm not spending any time on how to set it up. When we go to somebody's house, Margaret and I, and help them set up a Roku or an Amazon Fire device, we spend an average of about 2.5 hours. Ooh. Because someone might tell us, well, I really like mysteries. Can you help me find some mystery apps? So we'll go in and locate mystery apps for them. Now here, this is News On, which is very good, because let's say some of you here, we know that, for example, that Burl is from Wisconsin. So let's go over here to Wisconsin. And what we can do is we can watch newscasts on News On. There's also another one called Haystack. But this happens to be News On, which a lot of people really like, from the various cities. And we can watch their news. And it's from here in Tucson, let's say Milwaukee, 1,457 miles. It even tells us from our area. But you can go in and watch the newscast. Why would you want to do that? Let's say something is happening in Minnesota or Wisconsin or whatever, and some of your people that you're texting or calling are saying, hey, you wouldn't believe what happened on the news today to lead off at 6 o'clock, whatever. You can come into News On. You can go into, if you're from at least a larger area or near a larger area, you can go in and you can look up that newscast and you can watch that newscast. And you can say, hey, by the way, Paula, I saw that newscast. And it's really fun to be able to do that. And that's why I'm mentioning, you can see down here, KOLD Channel 13 has their news if you want to watch it from Phoenix, or somebody wants to watch what's happening in El Paso or Albuquerque. What we will typically do sometimes here is that if there is a hurricane coming, because we used to live in Tampa Bay, if there's a hurricane or let's say a tropical storm near the Tampa Bay area, which there was this month, we will go either to YouTube, and I'll put in one of the TV channels, and we can go to that TV channel and watch our weather and newscasters that we know from Tampa Bay, and we can go in and watch the newscast as if we were in Tampa Bay. It's on a delayed, sometimes it's live, but many times if you're watching at 8 o'clock at night, you're watching the 6 o'clock newscast delayed. It is nice to know it is there. Weather Nation is a weather channel, kind of a knockoff, and it's free because the Weather Channel typically costs, but I'm going to show you how to get the Weather Channel for free on here on one of the apps. And you can see right here, because we're getting close to 50 minutes to the hour, they're going to be covering the West right now. They're on a commercial right here, and I can make this bigger. I will just make it bigger for an instant and fill the screen, and you can see how it works. This is weather, and right now we've got, before they turn to the weather, we've got a commercial going right now. Over here on the left, if you can see on, I think it should be the left of your screen, Tucson, Arizona. We got the temperature, the humidity, the chance of rain, and so on, and I've set this already on Weather Nation. It's a free channel on Roku, and it's also a free channel on, it's a free channel that you can use too, if you like, on, whoops, on the Fire Stick or the Fire. PBS locally for us in the Tucson area has a free app that not only is a free app, but if for whatever reason you would like to, you can watch live TV in case you have any problem getting over the air. You can watch free TV on the app. This right now is showing on our PBS local affiliate right now, which I can tune in for just a second because I don't think they're going to go after me. But this is channel 6 in the Tucson area. They also have a list, for example, if you would like to see the PBS NewsHour from last night, if you miss it, you can come here and watch it. This is a free app. What is nice, like this, also a lot of their shows are free. So if you wanted to come in here and watch the Ken Burns collection, which is very popular, you can watch the Ken Burns collection. I've been asked to watch the country music that I have highlighted here on the, it's now toward the center of the screen, but I've never seen it, but I can watch it free whenever I wish. They have lots of art performances on here as well. It's all free. It's the PBS app for the Tucson area. Very quickly, I'm going to go into Crackle. That's another app that has loads of free things in it. You'll notice again how there's certain things playing right now. Now notice the channels. These are free classic TV shows that they have, and they go on and on and on. And you can watch many different seasons of whatever you want to watch. They have action here with all sorts of action TV shows. They have dramas. They have comedies. We have people that like sci-fi. We have those that like to, when they're at their, you know, their relatives and so on, when it's your relatives and so forth, crime and thriller. This is the Crackle app. It's an excellent app that's free to watch. Vudu used to be owned, it's free, it used to be owned by Walmart. They sold it. But again, free movies, free TV shows on the Vudu app. Again, you can kind of see there's on this particular one right here, you can see I'm going to go up to the top. This is free. So this is the movie section here, TVs, brand new ones, comedy, horror, whatever the situation might be. They have loads of them. And so these are free with ads. You can see that. And you'll see a lot of things on Vudu that are not on the other sites as well. What's interesting here is on the right, for example, with Black Spruce, you can see this movie aired in 2019. So it's from last year. So you get some relatively current movies. And again, as they will say, the list goes on and on where they're free with ads, and they don't have a lot of intrusive ads per hour. Like I said, about 2-3 minutes. Now this is Airy TV is a private, I will give you, if you would like it, it is a private, it means it's in beta in the Roku channel, and it has like a special code, and I can give you that code, and I will when we go in the other room. But right now, for example, they're showing the Roy Rogers show, which I haven't seen actually in years. Look at that for an old one, and I can make it full screen. Hope they don't go after me. Vegas, it was airing last hour. Bionic Woman, Happy Days, Tully Savalas, Kojak, Starsky and Hutch. All these shows, McHale's Navy, Old Dragnet, the Bob Newhart Show, Gomer Pyle, Hogan's Heroes, you know, the whole 9 yard. My Three Sons, all of those are airing right now. I can click on it for a second and we can see Fred McMurray and Bub from, you remember him from I Love Lucy. That's airing right now on the My Three Sons channel. So anyways, it's a good one to keep in mind. I'll give you a special code. Before we go, just two more. And this right here is free to view. The reason why I'm showing you free to view is notice what's in the center. It's the Weather Channel. This is an opportunity for you to watch the Weather Channel if you do not have it. If you're a card cutter, the hardest channel probably to get, they say, on the internet, believe it or not, is the Weather Channel. Well, guess what? There is the Weather Channel. Why am I not clicking on it? Copyright, because of the copyright. But you can see some of the free ones they have on this one. And this is what is called a private channel on Roku. And I'm just letting you look at a couple of the various things. The retro channel shows older internet type, older television shows of the 50s and 60s. The Lone Star Channel, obviously, is Westerns, detective shows. Circle We Get is one of the sub-channels here in the Tucson area, and you can see the list goes on and on. This TV shows as a sub-channel on channel 58, operating out of Sierra Vista. This one right here. Antenna TV, you can get over the air. Charge, Comet, Buzzer again. Retro TV shows old or whatever. But the real advantage of this channel, why I showed it to you, and that's why I'm scrolling, hope you don't get dizzy, it also has ABC News, CBS News, NBC News Live for those that are in news. It has the Olympic Channel and so forth. But the most important one, here's a chance to watch the Weather Channel for free as long as this app is around. This app is called Airy TV. I'll give you the code if you have a Roku. Free to view. It was free to view, by the way, not Airy TV, with the Weather Channel. Another real good free one for those of you who might like art, and I mean classic art. If you like symphony and you go to the symphony or whatever down in Tucson and you're into arts, they have some of the absolute best art movies from like 2020 all the way back, in art type features and clips all the way back to the 1950s, to the Bell Telephone Hour. And it is just absolutely marvelous with the symphonies they have. Obviously, we're watching Merv Griffin. And he was in a big bands, by the way, as a singer. But anyways, an example is the Classic Arts channel that's available on the Roku channel. We did hear Anita mention about Canopy, which is free through our library. Margaret and I went up to Arizona City, and we joined the library in Arizona City. That is just south as you go north on 10. Arizona City is to the left of 10. We went and joined the library so we could join Hoopla. Our library here in Marana does not have Hoopla, it has Canopy. So we went up and got a library card from Arizona City, which is just south of Casa Grande on 10, right before the 10 and the Route 8 heading out to Yuma. Right before that intersection on the left, we got Hoopla. But I wanted to let you know that what Anita has talked about before, I'm really not getting into. Game show just shows old game shows here. I loaded these myself. Blue Link is an example of another one that is free. I'll just click on it real fast and then I'm basically done out here. But I wanted to show you some of the free channels you can get through Roku. Many of these are also available. Many of these are also available through the Amazon Fire. You can get them through Apple TV. On the bottom of the screen, I am scrolling over some of the various channels that they have on the bottom. Some people even like buying things on Home Shopping Network, which we had near us in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area. QVC, another one that they have, all sorts of various, and all of these are also free. So this gives you an idea of many of the free ones that are available. And you can see again, Retro TV, and also Prime Video that's on Amazon is free. So I'm going to do one more thing here, if I may, very quickly. Let's hope it loads up fast enough. I'm going to go real fast to the, I'm going to go very quickly to the, I'm going to have to reset it on our TV. Hold on a moment. This hopefully should be very quick. I'm going to reset it so now you can see the Fire TV for just a moment. Fire TV offers, and Lucy and Tom would know this, but Fire TV offers a little bit more than the Roku operating system does. I'll show you why in just a moment. It's just loading up right now. Well, the Fire TV system is really nice. I'm just going to show you some of the apps that I put on here. Remember, on Fire TV, there are apps. On Roku, the channels. It's loading. It'll be here within the hour. What I wanted to show you is that, again, you'll notice the similarity here. I'm on IMDb. That's one that is on the Amazon system. And it's very much like the other ones we showed you with loads of channels. It stands for the Internet Movie Database. Again, there are all sorts of free things that are available to watch on the Amazon Fire. Right now, they're showing Lincoln from 2012. You can kind of see what's on. They have 90s throwbacks, nostalgia TV. They're showing Columbo. All of these are free, and this one here is exclusively on the Amazon system. The other nice thing, I'm not going to go to anything that I want to show you here, is that there is, and Prime Video is a good one too, for a free app for the Fire TV system. But what is nice is that when you see the internet here and you see Firefox, what that really means is you can go, it's a web browser. It's the Amazon Silk web browser. Firefox is one I use on the laptop that I'm using now. And I wanted to show you that because that way you can go on a web browser and you can go to any www.com, whereas you cannot do that on the Roku. The Roku just has the channels or these rectangular boxes. But this is the advantage that the Fire Stick and the Fire Cube and so forth and the Amazon system offers. That okay? Give you an idea in terms of what's free. Now I have a little bit more in the other room. Margaret, I'm done in here. I don't know if we can click seamlessly, Margaret, back in there. Yep. Do that?
Yep. I turned the volume down. I think I need to adjust
okay.
it.
Yeah, am I on?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. So Margaret, I don't see myself.
I saw you.
I don't see myself. Am I supposed to be able to? I just need to go back to square one, remember, and then with the internet sharing, if all possible, when we're done. If you can get us back to square one.
see my picture? Margaret is our technical person, as I said. I hope. Yeah.
You know, there you go, Sean. I think if you're talking, you will come to the front.
But will I?
For the viewers, yes.
I don't see the picture now.
I don't see it. What?
Do you have to join again? What happened? I see it, Tim. Am I on there somewhere? Oh, I see. Well, let's see. Somebody's still looking at Margaret's still got that on there. Tim, can you see me? Okay. Is there a way we can make me bigger? I'm on the, in other words, I only see Tim. Hi, Tim. You're occupying the full screen. I'm ready for part two.
Shouldn't. Jenny, you're seeing Sean, aren't you? Unless I'm talking.
That's fine. Okay, if you all are ready, I said I would show some codes. Let me see if I can center this because I have a very small one. If you're interested in me, if you have a Roku or if you have a smart TV, if you're at all interested in Airy TV and Free View, those are the Roku codes, because what happens when you set a Roku up, you get a page that'll ask you for your name and your password. And then it'll say, if you'd like to, on your iPad or on your laptop or computer, it'll say, if you would like to, you know, see any channels or whatever it is, you can send it from your laptop to your streaming device or through your Roku in the other room. And what you really need are the Roku codes if you're interested in Airy TV or Free to View. Also, I wanted to show you that I'll get it centered here. I wanted to show you that there's some big names here. Remember, we spent time on Pluto TV. Here's who owns Pluto TV, Peacock, Tubi, and Hulu.
Will you hold that back up for a minute? Just a minute.
Quick screenshot.
This who owns it. The reason why I show you just four, there's a lot, I didn't want to overwhelm any of you. The reason why I wanted to show you is that sometimes people will say, streaming, there's nobody doing streaming. Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Anita. That's one of those marketing hoaxes. Well, I thought what I would do is I would show you somebody's telephone's ringing. Can you take a message for me? Tell them we'll call them back. Anyways, I wanted to show you how many subscribers there are to the big four for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Disney. The reason why it looks like I may have crossed out this one here is because since I wrote these numbers in October, Disney has gone up by 0.6 million. So my 72.4 has gone up to 73 million subscribers. These are the top four. So if anybody should ever tell you streaming, it's small business, take a look at the millions who are streaming and using these various pay services. Those are paid subscribers. The top three, now we're going to start moving into the paid. The top three cable TV alternatives are these three. Hulu with live TV, YouTube TV, and Sling are the top three. The reason why they call these cable TV alternatives is because if you're watching the Home and Garden channel, HGTV, if you're watching history or you're watching the Learning Channel or ESPN or whatever, you get those through these paid services. The charts, a lot of times, as we see right here, will show that those are the three most popular. On the internet message boards, the three that are very popular, the two that are probably the most popular because they're easy to use is Philo TV and YouTube TV. Now, Margaret, I'm down to, if I can find the, maybe I need to click here. Did I lose you? Did I lose them?
You're still
I'm
there.
on share. Am I not? Did I lose the share?
You aren't sharing right now, no.
I'm not sharing?
No.
Okay, hold on a second. Share screen. Go ahead and hit share. Let's see if I can do it. You got it?
There we go.
There you go.
Very
Is it
good.
on there? I wanted to show you an example of how much they cost. YouTube TV is relatively expensive. It costs about $65 a month. And one of the advantages, and I should point out, of actually using a service like YouTube, Hulu, Philo, or whatever, is that if you would like to watch, let's say, and watch, for those that are watching football and they like ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever, the nice advantage is if you sign up today, in 1 month, you can cancel anytime within the month. You get your full month for, let's say in this case, $65. There's no hidden fees like there are with cable. The only thing you will have to pay is a little tax because we are in Arizona. When it says streams, that means you can put it on a computer, on your cell phone, or on, let's say, a iPad or some kind of a notebook. So this right here gives you an idea. The site that Margaret found, this site, is current as of the end of October. This site is called cabletv.com, and it lists prices for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if it's still here, and it is, I want to take you to a particular app that costs $6 a month, and it's called Friendly, and FRNDLY. And Friendly TV is $6 a month. Why do I mention this one? Just in case. We have some friends here in Sunflower, and what they like is they like the Christmas movies that Hallmark shows. So if you happen to be a cord cutter and you're not on any kind of cable or Philo or anything of that nature, for $6 a month for 30 days, you can stream the Hallmark channel. You could start, let's say, the day before Thanksgiving, and it would end like a day or so, or Christmas or whatever, and you could watch all the Christmas movies you want. Also on demand through Hallmark, you can watch the Hallmark movies and mysteries and Hallmark drama. It has these channels I'm now showing you. It only costs $6 a month. There's no long-term contract. There's no hassle. There's no questions asked. It's just a nice app to know that it is there. It's a paid app for around that price. AT&T Now, it's not one of the more popular apps for cord cutters and for streamers, but you can see a lot of the channels it offers. They also, most of these have a couple of different plans. Let me see if I can just get it to go down just a little bit. The one on the right is HBO Max included, and it has all these channels for $55 a month. This gives you an example. It's there. It's called AT&T Now. Sling TV comes in a number of flavors. It costs $30 a month. It costs $30 a month. I'm just scrolling down to make certain everything is showing. And they come in 2 flavors. They come in orange and they come in blue. You can try it free for 3 days if you like. And if you would like to see what blue entails, here's what the blue one has. Let's see, $30 a month for orange, for Sling Blue. And it basically does not have ESPN. It has a number of news channels. And the orange on the right, very quickly, is the one that has ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3. It costs $30 a month. And you can see a lot of the channels that they have. All you have to do is go to sling.com and you can look it up. Another one that a lot of sports people, look at this one, that a lot of sports people and other people really like is Fubo TV, F-U-B-O TV. 208 channels are available. I did the search. That's it in our Tucson area. Gives you an idea of a lot of the channels they have for that one. And its price is, what is it, $55. So let's see, what does it say it is? That's like $65, $64.99 a
Well,
month.
I didn't expect you to go right over there. I just thought before he leaves, maybe while
There
he's.
it is, $64.99 for the family plan with 112 channels. You see that, Anita? Anyways, that's it. Philo is really a lot of people's favorites because it has 63 channels and it's $20 a month. If you like sports, if you like news, this is not the channel for you. But if you like Hallmark, Home and Garden, History Channel, those kind of things, Hallmark Mysteries and Movies, the Travel Channel, AMC, all those, Access TV shows a lot of terrific concerts and so on. You may want to consider for $20 a month, it is probably. Somebody saying something? I didn't hear. But anyways, it certainly is one of the best. Philo, $20 a month. Hulu is also, as you know, a favorite. It has all these channels. I'm just kind of giving you a quick overview here. You can always go to hulu.com and it shows the TV that it has. It's right now $54.99 a month and it has 65 channels. A lot of sports for those who like Hulu. YouTube TV has, notice I put our zip code on the bottom. It has, as you can see, 85 type channels. It costs about $65 a month. And that right there will take us through those. Any questions on that? I've just given you a very brief overview because I'd like to finish this real soon. Next, we're going to end with VPNs. Last month, we heard Anita give a real good presentation, and I'm making certain to avoid repeating what she did on VPNs. Let me see if I can center this here for you. A VPN is a virtual private network. Basically, the reason why VPNs are popular is because of the fact that in March of 2017, there was an order signed in 2017, and that order that was signed was basically one that gave the various internet service providers, such as Consumer Cellular, Comcast, Verizon, and a whole host of others, the right, the legal authority to record our user activity on the internet and to be able to sell the data that they comb through the internet to third-party advertisers. There's a lot of folks in the privacy that say, I really don't want my internet service provider to know, and I'll be very specific here, what my medical records are. I don't want my internet service provider knowing what I'm dealing with Medicare or whatever, and yet they are watching because they now have 100% legal authority to watch, search, oversee what you're doing. So there's quite a few folks that are upset and they say, I really never signed up for an internet service provider to have them watch my every move. VPNs help that. I'm going to go right to some of the key parts right now because of time constraints. Last month in October, the New York Times did a terrific, it's very complicated. They did a terrific review of VPNs. As a matter of fact, they reviewed 56 VPNs. And they did an in-depth review. What they wanted to do is, they tested these VPNs, by the way, on an Acer laptop, an iPhone, a Pixel phone, and a MacBook Pro. So they were using Android and iPhone type things as backgrounds. What they did is they also reviewed VPN recommendations by CNET, PC Magazine, and also The Verge. They made certain that the VPNs have annual reports and audits by reputable third party. And the New York Times did this intensive review where? In Phoenix. The reason why this is important for us is that they did a lot of times. In other words, if you're going to go through a VPN, some people say it's a little bit slower. So I was able to compare some times because by doing it in Phoenix, Tucson is Arizona, we have the same times that Phoenix had. What are the results of the New York Times intensive review? I'm going to summarize it very quickly. I don't want to spend too long on it. One of their things that they found out was many VPNs are located in China. Is that good? No, it's bad. China does not even allow their own citizens to use virtual private networks. However, VPNs, many of them are located in China. It's not a safe place to do business with VPNs that are located in China. One of the things they found out too is that ExpressVPN, that's the one that Anita did a superb presentation on last month, and Surfshark, their equipment is located in the British Virgin Islands. Is that good? Yes, it's very good, because it's not in the United States. I'll explain that in a minute. The difficulty that they had is that both ExpressVPN and Surfshark VPN do not say who owns them. They don't know where the ownership is. Therefore, the New York Times dismissed ExpressVPN, and Surfshark is being VPNs that, if you read what they had to say, you may want to eliminate. Even though I did the research this past summer at CNET, PC Magazine, The Verge, and all sorts of places, and ExpressVPN was very highly recommended, the New York Times threw them out almost immediately because they do not know who owns them. And they did not consider that all that safe. Does not mean ExpressVPN is not good. It means the New York Times threw it out immediately. They also came up with this that I never heard of before. Let me see if I can center this for you. They came up with what they call the Five Eyes Alliance. The United States, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand, you can see what they do is, it's good for us as citizens. They share intelligence data from the internet and from various marketing. According to the New York Times, they said, if you connect in New York City, Los Angeles, Dallas, or whatever, don't do it. Because you can also be monitored by VPNs that connect to countries that are part of the Five Eyes Alliance countries. They recommend not connecting in those countries, but it gets more complicated because now they also found that there's the 14 Eyes, I'll see if I can center this for you. There's the 14 Eyes Alliance countries. They added 9 more countries. You'll notice 4 of them are Scandinavian countries, 4 are large European countries, and these also are in cahoots with one another with scanning. So the point now is where do you go? Does it make it sound like there's nothing left? The truth of the matter is there is. Through ExpressVPN for Anita and for us and others that may have it, you can connect to Switzerland, you can connect to Austria. They're not part of the Eyes Alliance countries. It is safer with a VPN, not only to have a VPN, but to have a VPN that connects in those other countries. So you're better with Switzerland, which you can connect to. You're better with Austria because it just is plain safer. By the way, most VPNs do advertise the following. They say, we do not collect your data, we do not save your data. The New York Times says that's their marketing spiel. The reality is they do save your data and they do collect your data. And the worst of all the VPNs, for all of us to know today, are what's called free VPNs, because there are no good free VPNs. The way VPNs stay in the market today, very simply, is because of the fact that they can sell our data. They're very much like the internet service providers. So in wrapping it up, after looking at 56 different VPNs, according to the New York Times, the ones that met their very stringent standards, then the one that hit number 1 was Mulvad. Mulvad can be located at mulvad.net. What's interesting about Mulvad is that it costs about $6 a month. It is actually cheaper than the price of ExpressVPN and some of the other VPNs. It was rated number 1 Number two, according to the New York Times, which also came in, never heard of this one, but I'm pointing it out for your information as to where it's located, is IVVPN. It's located at this one. It is at .net. The standard plan of this costs $6 a month. They have a pro plan, which you don't need, at $10 a month. Now, we've gone through all of this. The real question is, do you need a VPN? The answer is you do not need a VPN if you're not bothered by what the internet service providers are doing. Nothing that I'm passing on here is any more than just making us aware, making us what we would call an educated consumer. So as a consumer, we just need to know that ISPs, internet service providers, will track us. And knowing that they will track us, if you're bothered by that, consider a VPN. Now, does that mean ExpressVPN is terrible? The answer is no, it does not mean ExpressVPN is terrible. Right now, ExpressVPN, you can locate it by going to expressvpn.com. It costs $99.95 a year. They have 3 months free, which means it comes out to an average of about $6.66 a month for 15 months. You can put it on 5 devices, which you can with Mulvad as well. Surfshark, I just want to point out very quickly to you, because if you wake up one morning and you say, you know, I listened to that guy rambling on that technology club about VPNs, I'm getting a little nervous. Well, Surfshark at surfshark.com, it's a little bit slower of a VPN, but if $6 and so on would not be in one's budget, Surfshark is also rated very well by PC Magazine and all the other ones that I mentioned to you, and it costs $2.21 a month for 2 years. You get 3 months free, which totals $1.77 a month for 15 months. That's pretty inexpensive. And what's nice about Surfshark is the fact that Surfshark is available to put on unlimited devices. You can put it on 5 or 6 different devices if you want, or 10 devices if you had that many. So in essence, one other little thing very quickly that the New York Times article divulged that I'm passing on to you, this is purely to make us educated, is this fact. Make that centered for you, is that there also are spying email sites. What's the spying email site? Gmail is considered the worst site to have if you don't want to have your emails read. Yahoo email is number 2, and I didn't even know it was still around. AOL email is number 3. What does this mean? If you listen to Gmail or Yahoo Mail, they will say the following: no one looks at your emails. Do not let anybody hold up cards on the internet and tell you that we look at your emails. That is not true. Then why do I mention this? Because they use the phrase no one, and that means no people. Computers and robots scan emails on Yahoo, Gmail, and AOL. Why? Because what they're looking for is, they're looking for you to say, I bought a new TV, I'm looking for a new watch, I'm looking for a new computer or notebook. They recommend other sites except for emails. So as I wrap it up today, I'm going to wrap up with another Paul McCartney, very short little story. Paul McCartney used to take a cab back and forth to visit John Lennon, and he noticed that the same cab driver was driving him in a big cab line in England, no matter when he would take the cab. So he asked the cab driver, "You work all the time?" And the cab driver says, "Yep, 8 days a week." And now you know where the title of the song, 8 Days a Week, came from. And that means ideas can come from all over. Feel free to continue to do what you're doing. Contact your fellow Technology Club folks that are interested for ideas. And I hope I presented everything this morning in English so that we can all understand it. I took almost all of the technical terms out of it so that hopefully we can understand it. And I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free.
Any questions?
Can I ask, I have a question.
Go ahead, Anita.
Okay, so it looked like Sean, that you have the same TV I have, which is a
Sorry.
smart TV.
Sorry.
And do I need to have, I mean, for some people, are they happy to have a smart TV?
Absolutely. There's only one disadvantage, Anita, of a smart TV versus, let's say, a Roku box or a stick, or perhaps Amazon, Google, or a Apple TV. What happens with smart TVs, I had a Vizio and we had a Panasonic, is that after about 2-3 years, they stop supporting the smart TV. In other words, there's no updates anymore. If you buy a Roku, I'm not suggesting anybody do this, but this is just the advantage of the Roku and the other sticks and so forth. If you buy those, they are supported for 5-6 years later. You'll get updates. The Roku that I have, the one that I showed you, the Roku 4, this one here is now about 5 or 6 years old, if I can center it for you, and it's still being supported. So what happens if you buy, when you have a smart TV, the apps you have on the smart TV are very good. But after 2-3 years, a lot of times, the TV manufacturers will stop supporting them. Whereas when you have the various devices like these, they'll support them for far more years in the future. That's the only difference. Otherwise, the apps are good.
Well, and I had a Samsung TV that worked perfectly fine, but the smart TV part of it quit working. But even before it quit working, they quit supporting like YouTube TV.
Right.
So it's like there must have been some contractual things going on where they're.
You got it. And that's why people will spend $30, even if they have a smart TV, to go out. Remember, that's on sale. That's why they'll go out and buy the sticks and the Chromecast of the Apple TV. And as I told you, the Apple TV has not had a new device. That's why their percentage is so low since 2017, September 2017. The new Apple TV device is expected to come out here early in 2021.
Yeah.
You're better off with a smart TV, or you're better off with one of these type devices than you are, because the TV manufacturers stop supporting it. It's kind of what I would call a gimmick to try to get you to buy another TV, because they think you don't know that you can go out and buy these sticks and whatever and get a good price on them.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, it's kind of a gimmick to get you to spend more money. I'm here to try to save you money.
Well, and also not every TV will allow you to put on every app.
That is correct. That's
Yeah,
why
so even though I have a brand new TV, but it's Android based.
What
and
TV, you have Samsung?
It's a Sony. I have a brand new Sony
I
TV.
have too. Yeah, we have Sony. Now Sony taps into the Google Play Store,
Right.
and you get all the apps on the Google Play Store. But when you have Fire Stick, for example, what you can do, they use the phrase, and Tom Holland did a marvelous job on this about 3 years ago, talking about some of the apps you can side load. In other words, if you can't get certain apps on the Amazon Fire devices, you can actually go in and side load it, which means that you can add more apps that are easily available onto the Amazon system. That's why some people like Amazon, other people like another product called NVIDIA Shield. They also like that. Roku, for example, also has what they call smart sound bars that they've just come out with. So, but they'll support their products longer than the televisions will. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why your YouTube is going kaput. And on the Vizio we have in here, they haven't supported it for years, and I just got it a few years ago. Also, TVs tend to watch us. Remember, I was pointing out about the emails in terms of watching us, and the 14 Eyes Alliance committees watching us. Television sets also like to watch us. There's a way of turning that off, and that's another presentation for another day.
All righty,
I
thank
only
you.
spoke English because there's a lot of information here, and a lot of times it comes out much differently than we would anticipate. That New York Times article was very revealing to me. It was amazing how deep they reached. The point is we're on ExpressVPN, Anita, you and I, and Margaret and so forth, and maybe Binky is too. There's no reason to change it right now. But when you log in, consider using Switzerland and Austria rather than New York or LA or San Francisco. It's a little bit safer. It's interesting.
Sean,
Thanks, Tim.
thank you very
Hi,
much,
Earl.
Margaret, for a very good presentation. This is all new for me, and I got a basic mechanical question. You buy a box or a stick, and how does that, you connect that to the TV, like we've got a modem and Wi-Fi in a house. Does it find that automatically then, or what?
Does. Yeah, that's a great question, Pearl. It sure does. It's very easy to set up. As I said, let's say you have a stick like this. You plug it in. I don't like to use these technical terms, but you plug it in a port. That's a hole on the side. Typically,
Right.
It's called
Yes.
HDMI. That stands for high definition multimedia interface. But you plug it into an HDMI port right here, and it will actually connect to your Wi-Fi automatically. You may have to, Burl, put in a password for your Wi-Fi. In other words, if you have a Fire Stick or a Roku stick or a Google stick or whatever, you then will have to go in and set up a name and a password. Once you set up a name and a password, it may ask for the password for your router. So you put in the password for your router. If within a matter of moments, it just pops up. That's why they call these smart. They're very wise, and it's very easy to do.
So then I can hook it up here in Wisconsin, and then when we come down to Arizona, put in the password for the modem down there.
Bring it with you, and you bring it down here. The only thing you may have to do is, remember, when you come here, Burl, you may have to, again, log in the password for your router here in Arizona.
Right.
That's
Okay.
all you'll have to do. And it will kind of give you one of these, like I said, it'll give you one of these circles. It'll kind of go for just a few minutes, it'll pop up, and then you tap on it and you connect. It's right there. These smart devices hook up to most every kind of router you can imagine.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It is a lot of data for us to absorb in one day, but it's really important because the more we're aware of this, the more we know what's going on. It's not to scare anybody. And you notice I'm not an alarmist at all. I'm not saying you have to do any of the VPNs whatsoever. Do it if you wish, but at least if you wish, you know why people are doing it and why the popularity is growing.
Okay, any more questions or?
Thank you,
Well,
Sean.
long
Thank
time.
you,
There we go.
Tim.
Thank you, Sean. We are recording this. There was a lot of information. I don't know why the link did not work on the YouTube channel, but if you just search on YouTube for the Sunflower Tech Club, you should find it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll have all this recorded. Next month, Lucy Helen's going to teach on Shutterfly. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll get this recording back up by the end of the week, hopefully. And next month will be a big meeting. We need to vote on the budget, vote on officers, and hopefully move into next year strong. So please get the word around that we need officers to keep it going. And I'll help all I can going forward. But I'm going to have to step down. So thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to leave it up, the meeting up, so you can continue.